What do we have to do to find the vertical? Okay, so then we would take out x. And how would that factor?
2 and 3.
So what are my vertical asymptotes?
0,
Okay. And you have to have the x equals. All right, horizontal or oblique. If we divide our highest powers of x, we have x squared over x cubed. When we reduce, we end up with 1 over x. Anytime x ends up on the bottom, what does that mean? Y is equal to 0, because you can't do 1 divided by x. Let's try a couple more. Any questions on those? So number 3. Vertical asymptote. If we set the denominator equal to 0, we get x equals 0. Horizontal or oblique. If I divide my highest powers of x, negative 8x squared over 4x, what do I get? Okay, that still has an x on the top. What does that mean? Oblique. How do we find the oblique then? So the top goes underneath. 4x goes out here. So we divide negative 8x squared divided by 4x, which gives us 2x. Sorry, negative 2x. Then we multiply. Negative 2x times 4x, and we get negative 8x squared. What do we have to do now? Subtract it off. So change those signs, x squared cancel. So we have 3x minus 4. So 3x divided by 4x. So I get 3/4. So my oblique is y equals negative 2x plus 3/4. That's all we need. Y equals mx plus b. Is that okay? You guys try number 4. So, vertical asymptote. You can take out a negative 4x. So we choose x plus 1. So you should get x equals 0 and negative 1. Horizontal or oblique, if we divide our highest powers, x squared over negative 4x squared. What's that give us? So that is horizontal. Y equals negative 1/4. Those okay? Last two. So on number 5, what is my vertical asymptote? 3. How do I write it? Okay, if I divide my leading powers of x, x squared over x gives me x. What's that mean? Oblique. Okay, what is x squared divided by x? X. Then you multiply. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. So those cancel. So we get 5x minus 3. What is 5x divided by x? So our oblique is y equals x plus 5. You guys do number 6. So to find our vertical, that factors into x minus 3, x plus 1. So you should get 3, x equals 3, and negative 1. For horizontal, we have a negative x over x squared, which reduces to negative 1 over x. So what's that mean?
Y equals 0.
Good. Anytime x is still on the bottom, it's an automatic y equals 0. And it doesn't matter if it's x the first, x the second, whatever. If there's x's on the bottom, it's 0. All right, are those okay? Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do today, I want to go over 2 slides in our packet. We're not doing any examples over them yet. I'll do that on Monday, but I just want to go through a couple of bits. So, I guess not Monday, Tuesday, we will start graphing our rational functions. These are the steps that we're going to go through. We will factor everything and write it in lowest terms. I'll talk about what a hole in the graph means in just a second. Then we're finding x and y intercepts. So x-intercepts are when y equals 0. Y-intercepts are when x is equal to 0. We'll write down our vertical asymptotes, our horizontal and oblique asymptotes, and then we will use test points to draw the final graph. So these will be the steps that we go through when we graph it. All things that we've done individually, but we will put it all together in one problem and get the information to put on our graph. The final new thing I want to talk about is how do you get a hole on your graph. So a hole happens when something appears in both the numerator and denominator. For instance, if I said x squared minus 9 over x plus 3, how do you factor x squared minus 9? And if I divide that by x plus 3, what happens? That gives us x minus 3. Now when we have these, we are going to go ahead and factor and reduce them first. But remember at the very beginning when we were talking about domains, I said, the domain is based off the original graph. What happens right here is what's called a hole in the graph. And we can find the actual ordered pair for that hole. The x value is from the thing that canceled. What makes x plus 3 equal 0? Negative 3. So that's my x value. That's the domain issue here. You couldn't plug a negative 3 in the beginning. To get the y, all you do is plug negative 3 into what's left. So if I put in negative 3 minus 3, we get negative 6. What that does is if you were actually going to draw this graph at negative 3, negative 6, we get a hole or an open circle. Everything else is graphed like normal. I mean, this one was x minus 3 is just a line. Y-intercept of negative 3, slope of 1. So what our graph turns into is a line with an open circle on it. So when something cancels out, it doesn't create a vertical asymptote, it creates an open circle on the graph. And we will see that occasionally in our problems that we're graphing next.